Warning, the Renegade Recruiter is not for the soft, timid, or faint-hearted. If you need permission or seek approval from your mother, spouse, mates in the pub, or anyone else for that matter, this really isn't for you. If any of what you've heard puts you off in the slightest, I advise you not to listen any further. You've been warned. Prepare yourself for the no bullshit, zero fluff. Quick, dirty, and uncensored secrets for any serious recruitment, staffing, and search business owner who wants to earn more money with less work and fewer headaches, without having to kiss ass or bend over backwards to please anyone. He's a relentless and fearless renegade who will stop at nothing to reveal the harsh, unforgiving, and brutal truth about what it really takes to succeed in this business. He's a guy people love to hate and hate to love. It's your host, Terry Edwards. The Renegade Recruiter is unleashed.
Hi, it's Drew here, and I am joined by Terry Edwards, aka the Renegade Recruiter, author and founder of TerryEdwards.com. Terry, thanks for joining us.
It's a pleasure to be here, Drew. Really looking forward to it.
Great. So, Terry, I have a few questions to ask you around getting clients, more specifically for getting clients for recruitment and search firm owners. During my time working with you, I've obviously, like you, spoken to a lot of recruitment and search firm owners, and almost without exception, if you ask them what their biggest challenge is, the biggest hurdle in their business, the biggest thing stopping them from seeing substantial growth year after year, it's clients. It's their ability to get enough clients.
Yeah.
Why do they find it so hard? Why is it such a big problem in this industry?
Well, I guess if they're anything like the majority of recruitment and search firm owners, myself included, you entered into working for somebody else. When you entered into, and I entered in industry, 20 plus years ago, and I was told the way that you got business was cold calling. So you picked up the phone, you cold called, and in fairness, that worked, 20 plus years ago. And for the modern recruiter, they don't know any other way. So they will either cold call, they might do some networking, perhaps word of mouth, but they only have 3 or 4 methods for generating leads. And I think the main reason, they've never been shown any other way. And so it's not really their fault. If they've never been shown any other way, they will keep doing what they've always done.
Okay, yeah, it makes perfect sense. And again, we were sort of speaking off air, off camera, so to speak, and you were saying that you believe that marketing, or your ability to get clients, has the ability to solve almost all of your business challenges. Again, can you just explain for me and also people watching it now, what do you mean by that?
If you talk to any recruitment or search firm owner, you ask them what their biggest challenges are, it will revolve around time, lack of time, team, that tends to be underperforming team, or they want to build a team because they want to grow their business, or money. Often lack of money or cash flow. So time, team, and money are the sort of 3 main challenges for I'll go if I'd say probably 95% of recruitment and search firm owners. And the reason I say that marketing is the answer is that if you look at each of those individuals, if you look at the challenge around time, they haven't got enough time to do what they want to be doing because they're doing stuff they perhaps shouldn't be doing. So lots of things they should be delegating, but they perhaps can't afford to delegate it. And the reason they can't afford to delegate is because they haven't got the business coming in, they haven't got the income coming in. Underperforming team. Most recruiters, in my experience, certainly know how to recruit. So they know how to do the recruiting of itself. And for most consultants, their challenge is about getting the business in. Well, if you employ them and show them how to generate 20 or 30 leads a month, every single month, so they never ever have to cold call, that problem solved. So whereas at the moment 20% of consultants are underperforming in most businesses, 20 to 30%, you've almost eliminated that problem straight away. Time. The other one is money. So lack of cash is due to lack of clients. If they could just get more business in, that problem solved. So they're going to have more cash coming in as well. So it can solve everything. If there's a way that the recruitment or search firm owner can generate leads all the time and only be calling warm prospects who actually know them, their problems would be solved.
Okay, and again, one of the things you talk about is not just about getting any clients. You say there's a right type of client that you want to get for your business, and you argue that some clients are more profitable than others. Some clients are better for your business than others. And not all. The thing I've heard you say a lot of times is not all clients are equal.
Yeah, so true. Yeah.
Again, what do you mean by that?
Well, I think again, speaking from experience and talking to recruitment and search for managers from around the world, is they tend to get a client and think, because the client has offered me this opportunity, I'm almost obliged to say yes, please. And that obligation stems from the fact that they've got no other business, and they're kind of fearful of walking away from business. Well, the challenge with that is that you end up working with people that you don't actually enjoy working with. Yeah. You end up working with clients who will piss and moan about whatever you do. You'll end up working with clients who want to push you down on your fees. You'll end up working with clients who won't return your calls. You'll send through the CVs or the resumes, and 2 or 3 weeks later you'll still wait to hear from the clients. Honestly, you really want to avoid working with those clients. You want to be working with clients who value and respect what you do. Again, it comes back to marketing. If you're generating a flow of warm leads, then you can decide who you work with. What it also means is that if you're going to decide who you're going to work with, you're also going to decide who you're not going to work with. And that's a great position to be in when you tell a client, I'm afraid you don't qualify to work for us.
And I guess, again, you said that one of the big fears is walking away from business. That happens because there's not that deal flow coming in, there's not that constant demand of leads coming in. So you're sort of looking at a potential client and thinking, I don't know where my next client's coming from. Therefore, you're so desperate you have to take that client. Whereas if you had leads coming in consistently, more leads than you can handle, more leads than you need, so you've actually got even a waiting list of clients who want to work with you. You can then, as you said, Terry, hand-pick the best clients, hand-pick the ones who you want to work with the most, and hand-pick the ones who are most profitable.
That's right. So you hand-pick the clients who are going to pay your fees. You're going to hand-pick the clients who are going to pay your retainer. You're only going to work with clients who pay your retainer, or at the very least work on an exclusive. You're going to handpick the clients who value what you do and respect what you do, and the roles that you're filling are important to the business, so they're going to give you that respect that you deserve for what you're doing.
Awesome, brilliant. And in your first book, 7 Deadly Threats, you talk about recruitment search firm owners who have a belief that marketing won't work or won't work for them. Again, and I know it's not an uncommon thing that I've heard it loads of times, people saying that either marketing doesn't work in general, they have a belief that marketing doesn't work, or they believe that the marketing that's worked in one search firm or in one sector won't work for their particular business, their particular niche or niche if you're American. Again, what would you say to that?
I think it's a really good point you made there. I probably hear that every day of the week, and it often starts with but my market's different, and marketing, my clients are sophisticated, and they're not going to fall for that baloney or whatever the term is. And here's what I always say: kind of ignore what I say or my opinions, because my opinion doesn't matter. What we would also say to clients is test it. And with technology nowadays, there are so many things that you can do to test the marketing where there's no risk or very little risk involved. And I always give the example of a client who's based in the UK, works with investment banking. One of the things that we would encourage our clients to do is to test Facebook marketing. And this particular client said, Terry, but my clients are very sophisticated, they're not even on Facebook, so we don't think it's a good idea. And I said, absolutely, totally get that. So why don't we just test it? Because here's the thing, if it doesn't work, it's not going to cost you anything. If it does work, you're going to get some leads in. The interesting thing with this particular client, whose average salary, by the way, is 150,000, whose average fee is 42,000, is he gets most of his business now from Facebook. This is the same client that said, my clients are very sophisticated, no, you won't work with them. Because here's the thing about marketing. All you're doing with marketing is communicating to a human being. If your clients or your prospects are human, that's all you're doing, you're just going to communicate to them. It really is as simple as that. But like I said, don't take my word for it, just test it.
Again, another thing that I would add to that is, this is more for people who say that marketing doesn't work. Like, whether you like it or not, marketing is happening now. Marketing is the process of getting sales and getting clients. So as long as you have a business, marketing is going on. Even if it's not deliberate, there is marketing going on. So all you're already talking about is rather than letting it happen by accident or chance, or relying on hope to grow your business, is taking back control of the market and really have an influence on the way your potential clients perceive your service in the marketplace. Again, is that something?
Yeah, absolutely. You've used a really good term there, hope. Often I talk to recruitment and search firm owners, and we talk about marketing, and they are relying on hope. They're kind of hoping that their existing clients will come back to them and give them more business. Kind of hoping that somehow somebody's going to give them a call and say, "Here's my credit card. Let me give you a retainer immediately." In my experience, the same, Drew, I'm yet to find a successful recruitment and search firm owner who's been successful relying purely on hope.
Yeah.
And the other problem with it as well, you've got no control over it. If you're just relying on your existing clients to give you business, you've got no control of that whatsoever. Whereas those successful and real top billers, what they're doing is they say, "No, we'll take responsibility for this. We'll generate the leads. We'll decide who we're going to work with." There's a massive shift then. So you're not beholden to anybody. You're taking full responsibility for all the leads coming in and who you're going to work with, and it's so much more effective than hope marketing, as you called it.
And again, I'm gonna know one of the things that you're a big advocate of is building a predictable, reliable system for bringing in leads and bringing in clients. So again, like you said, rather than relying on hope, so maybe one day you get a referral, or maybe someone happens to contact you to ask for a business. Actually, you've got a predictable system, a predictable machine, if you like, bringing in a certain number of leads every month, and whenever you want to sort of increase that, you just turn up the lead tab.
That's right.
You get more leads, and obviously you get more clients. That's really how you achieve growth year after year. Because again, we'll meet recruitment search firms who are doing well. I'm not saying that they're struggling. They're doing well into six figures. Their biggest problem is growth. They almost all of them will get to a point where they hit a glass ceiling because they've used up all of their network. They've noticed that like clients are getting harder to bring on. Obviously, competition in this industry is growing every single day. So lack of growth is a big problem. The only way to get around that is effective marketing and an effective system for bringing leads and bringing clients. Again, is that?
Yeah, absolutely right. And when you've got that regular and consistent flow of warm leads coming in, the other thing it does for our clients, it gives them that confidence, because they know every month each of their consultants will have 20 or 30 warm leads.
Yeah.
They know that their consultants won't convert all of those leads, and if you're an executive search firm, what our clients are targeting is 2 retainers per consultant per month. I mean, think about that for a minute. If you're winning 2 retainers a month every single month, I mean, what would it mean to your business if you're winning 2 retainers a month every single month? And you know that you can, because you've got this sustainable torrent of hot piping leads coming in every month. That's the difference that makes a difference. That's alone, Drew.
And again, just going back a step, we talked about lack of growth. Why does this happen, and what can you do to break through it?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, Drew, I think first of all, you don't know what you don't know. If you've never been shown how to generate warm leads, if you don't know that there are about 150 different ways that a recruitment or search firm can generate leads, and you're only using 3 or 4, if you've never been shown that, that's part of the reason that goes on. So it's a matter of just not knowing any better, and getting access to that information. But the good news is that information is out there. There is information out there that can tell you exactly how to do it to generate those warm leads on a regular and consistent basis.
Brilliant. And I know you're going to be showing that in the next couple of videos as well.
Yeah.
But again, what about if so often you get sort of the more experienced recruitment search firm owners who have built up to a certain level, and the way they build that is by using a particular route to market. So it might be cold calling, might be NPCs, might be referrals. And then again, a complaint that I've heard over the last year, even over the last 3 years really, but it appears to be getting worse, is that it's getting more difficult, it's getting harder, it's taking longer to get through to people, it's becoming more expensive. Essentially, it's becoming harder and harder to stand out. Marketing is becoming less and less effective. Why is this happening?
Well, And I think it's a really good point again, Drew, and a study that was done probably 18 months, 2 years ago, the average hiring manager gets between 8 and 10 calls a day from a recruiter. Just think about it for a minute. They're getting 10 calls a day in a month. That's 200 calls a month that they're getting from recruiters. All of these recruiters claim to be good. All of these recruiters claim to have this fantastic mission statement and we really care about you, and all much of a muchness. From the hiring manager's point of view, it's like, I've heard all this before. So from the hiring manager's point of view, it's like, oh, another cold call from another recruiter, and they're all much of a muchness. So from the hiring managers, what they're going to do, they're going to fob you off. Send me your terms, not PSL. Send me your brochure and I'll get back to you. By the way, they won't. Just to let you know. But what the smart recruiters are doing, they're going, I get that now, and it is difficult to just pick up the phone and call a complete stranger. And, if you're a search firm, your average fee is 20, 30, 40, 50,000. Honestly, call the complete stranger and say, hey, you don't know me, but will you spend 50,000 with me, is a big ask. Well, there's some other methods that we're going to cover a bit later on, where you can call somebody that you know, and you can put a process in place. So when they call you, they know exactly who you are and what you stand for. So what that means is you get less resistance. So rather than going who, they go hi. And it's a great feeling. It really is.
Okay. And again, would you say a term I've heard you use before is marketing incest? And you say that a lot of recruitment and search managers are all doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Again, you think this is partly the problem?
Yeah, I don't want to be careful. I don't want to beat up on recruitment and search firm owners, because you're right, they are doing the same thing, but they don't need any different.
Yeah.
If they've never been shown how to do other things, it's almost inevitable that they're all going to be doing the same thing. Because often, if you talk to most recruitment and search firm owners, they work for another recruitment or search firm, and they literally take away what they learned then in terms of marketing, and they literally just duplicate that. And I know you've heard the saying, look, if you want to be successful, look at what the majority are doing and then do the complete opposite. Now, the majority are cold calling. The majority are marking out candidates. Majority of recruitment and search firms are just achieving mediocrity. And if you want to achieve a bit more than that, you really need to look at what they're doing and do something different. So look at most recruiters' websites as an example. They're all much of a muchness.
Yeah.
We care all about us. They have this photograph. Some of them want to position themselves as, we really care about diversity, so let's make sure we have women in this photograph, and we have people of colour in this photograph. Most recruitment websites are like that, and I'd say to you, look at what everybody else is doing and do your utmost to do the complete opposite. But most recruiters go, well, this is what we're going to do, we're going to set up in business, let's look at what other recruiters are doing in terms of their website, let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's get a social media policy together, let's look at what other guys are doing, let's do that.
Yeah.
The problem is, though, it's not working.
No, yeah, and it's almost inevitable that you said, you do what the average recruitment search firm is doing, you're going to get average results. And unfortunately, the average results in this industry is gets them to a point where you stop growing, you stop seeing any growth. So if you want to get past that, you want to break through that, and again, something you talk about a lot, is something you're going to have to do is violate the industry norm.
Yeah.
Go against what everyone else is doing, do something that's different, deliberately stand out. So I mean, we've talked about sort of the problem, which is lack of clients. We've talked about why it's happening.
You're listening to the Renegade Recruiter Unleashed podcast. For show notes, additional resources, and podcast updates, head over to www.therenegaderecruiter.com.
What happens if this continues? Because this isn't a new problem.
No,
let's be honest. This isn't something that's happened over the last 12 months or even over the last 5. It's always been a problem. It's perhaps getting worse, but it has always been a problem. And what is perhaps frightening is a lot of recruitment and search firm owners are choosing to ignore it. They're not actively seeking out ways to fix it. I mean, again, arguably people watching this video now, they are looking for a solution, they are looking for ways to fix it. So it's not necessarily talking about them, but again, the majority are ignoring it. But what are the implications if, one, it gets ignored, and two, or two, it didn't get ignored, but you don't do anything to fix it, what will happen sort of as we look sort of 12 months into the future of the business?
I mean, the most obvious thing is that if you keep doing what you're doing now, it's almost guaranteed you're going to get the same results. So if whatever you're doing right now isn't working, there is nothing to suggest if you keep doing that it's suddenly going to work. So if you keep doing what you're doing now, you're going to get the same results.
Yeah.
And the implications of that are you're not going to grow. And the implications are you're going to be frustrated. For some businesses, they won't be around for much longer because the smart firms are doing different things now, and and it's working for them. And if you're doing what you've always done and you've kind of got those results, you know what the outcome is.
Yeah.
So sadly, either they won't grow and eventually they could disappear. Certainly, I'll almost guarantee you'll stop enjoying it. There is nothing worse, and we've all been there, where you've got your own business and it's not going the way that you want it to go, and you wake up in the morning and you're thinking, I've got to keep doing this, and I'm not even enjoy doing it. I mean, that must be awful, and the negative impact that will have on your loved ones and those close to you when you're in that downward spiral, and you believe there's no way out of that downward spiral because you keep doing what you've always done and you always get the same results.
Yeah, and I guess like as well, I mean, success is different for everybody. Like everyone's got their own idea of what they want to achieve. So it's not even necessarily the difference between failure and success. It's the feeling that you haven't reached your potential.
Yeah.
So even again, you meet people that are doing even having 7-figure businesses, but they know they could do more. They know they could do better. And again, most business owners are quite competitive. So it's the feeling that even if you're doing reasonably well compared to your friends, even though you might look successful on the surface, it's about what you feel like inside. Do you feel like you're reaching your full potential? Do you feel like you're doing as much as you could do? Do you want to do more?
Yeah, good point there. What I'd add to that is a few clients have said to us they've said things like, if I'm honest, Terry, I feel a bit of a fraud because you know I've got this business, the perception is that things are great, the truth is we're £1 million business, we've got 10 consultants, they're averaging 100,000 a year. Honestly, 3 or 4 of those consultants are underperforming. I'm having to do the billings to pay for those wages of those underperformers. It's a spiral then, isn't it? And as one guy said to me, he said, you end up actually resenting those underperforming consultants because that wasn't how you imagined it when you set up a business, that you're actually working to pay for those underperformers. And then there's a guy that I know you know as well. He's got 2 fee earners, he's got 4 people in his business, he does 2 million a year. Now, the difference between those two is simply a mindset, and I won't mention his name. The guy that's doing 2 million, he only works with certain clients. He only works on a retainer, but it's a completely different mindset to that other person that you know that we're talking about, who's frustrated. There's no other word.
Yeah.
But he is frustrated at this very moment.
Yeah, and I guess as well, like it's probably more important than ever to address these problems head on because from the way I see it, I don't know if you agree, like the industry is becoming more competitive.
Yeah.
Like every day you're seeing, I mean, what tends to happen is like there'll be a consultant at a big firm, even a smaller firm, who does well, and sort of thinks like a lot of us who got into the business, like I could take a bigger cut of the commission if I set up my own business. I'll essentially be doing the same thing. So you get recruitment search firms spring up everywhere, and again, like you said before, Terry, like there's no league tables in business. Like it's not like sport where you start off in the lower leagues and you work your way up. As soon as you set up a business, you're competing with everybody else in business. Like the competition is just ridiculous. There's so many, and the better technology gets, the competition becomes worldwide as well. You're no longer even competing with local businesses. You're no longer competing with national business. You're competing with recruitment and search firms all over the world, all going for the same clients. So again, it's yeah, it's vital that the problem is addressed head on right now.
Yeah, and you've made another good point there, Drew. The cost of entry to enter the market of recruitment and executive search is zero.
Yeah.
Instead of in your bedroom, quite frankly. And you're right. You either get the entrepreneurial recruiter or search consultant who thinks I can do better. The other breed, though, of course, is the consistent underperforming consultant who's changed jobs probably 3 times that year already and is thinking I can't go and work for somebody else. So what I'm going to do, I want to go off on my own. And their mentality is I don't need to bill a great deal to have the sort of lifestyle that they want. But what those guys tend to do, they come into the market and they disrupt the market by saying we're going to be cheaper than everybody else, and they take business off you. They may be lousy recruiters. They may have absolutely no idea, but they've got no overheads. They're sitting in their bedroom, and their attitude is, I've got to bill a great deal to make a good living. So you've got those two guys enter the market on a daily basis. And as you rightly said, Drew, getting business down on an international platform, so to speak, is relatively easy now. You could be in New York. You could target organisations. You could pinpoint, right, I'm going to target organisations in Hertfordshire in the UK. With technology now, things such as Facebook and LinkedIn. So you can be really specific who you're going to target. So, I appreciate you might be listening and say, oh, well, this doesn't apply to me, but you need to be aware of this competition is coming from all angles, not just your regular competitors, not just a big dumb multinational recruitment and search firms, but also those guys that are literally operating from their bedroom, and they will take a piece of your cake. That's a promise. There's no ifs or buts. They just will.
Okay. So Terry, you've talked about the fact that it's getting harder to get attention in the market. It's getting harder to get your clients to even notice you exist, let alone buy from you. You talked about price pressure and that you're almost being forced to lower your price. We're almost being forced to keep our fees low because of course the increased competition, which one I'm going to get to, and also the fact that there's no real way for the potential client to differentiate between two firms. Like, everyone's saying they're the best. Everyone's saying they've got a good service. So how does a client know, unless they've worked with you before, how do they know that you're actually as good as you say you are? So the only thing that we have to go on is price. So there's a lot of people getting sort of beaten down on price. And also, we mentioned there the increased competition as well. Let's talk fixes, let's talk solutions. Like, how do we solve this? You've, again, in all of your books, you've touched on it in some way or another. You talk about the concept of permission marketing versus interruption marketing, and how you need to make the transition from interruption marketing as quick as possible and get to permission marketing, where it's easier to get the attention of your ideal clients. Can you explain the concept for anyone who's completely new to it or hasn't read any of your books yet?
Yeah, so classic interruption marketing that we're all familiar with. If you're watching TV and you're watching the game on TV, invariably what's going to happen on one of the commercial channels, they say, we'll be right back after the break, and they interrupt your viewing to then display an ad to you for a motor car, washing powder, whatever. But you're not in the market for that product, but they've interrupted you, and they work on the theory, if we interrupt enough people and we throw enough mud, some of it will stick and we'll get some buyers. And I want to be clear here, I'm not knocking it, it works, but that's what it is. It's interruption marketing, billboard advertising, magazine ads. You flick through a magazine, literally every other page there's going to be an ad there for whatever. And recruiters use interruption marketing. So what they do is they will pick up the phone and they call the hiring manager and they say, hey, you don't know me and I don't know you, but I'm really good at what I do and we really care, and you've interrupted the hiring manager.
Yep.
Like I said, everybody's doing that. Every recruiter's doing that. I'm yet to meet a hiring manager that says, I really enjoy getting interrupted by these 10 recruiters a day, every day, interrupting my work to tell me how great they are. I don't know about you, but if you're at home with your family and you get that cold call at home, somebody's selling you whatever they're selling you with a cold call at home, not many people enjoy that when you get at home. But that's interruption marketing. So that's what it is. Then there's something called permission marketing. Permission marketing is where you only market to those clients who've raised their hand and indicate they have some interest. So what you do initially is you interrupt them initially, and you can interrupt them, let's say, with an email, offering them a solution to their problem. So you can send that email out, let's say, to 1,000 potential clients, and those that are interested, you offer them a solution to their problem, and those that are interested will give you permission to take that relationship to the next level. Does that explain it well enough, Drew?
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite familiar with the concept, so it does for me. But I mean, I guess just to reiterate for anyone who's new to the concept, if you think about, I mean, you mentioned it already, but I think you said, look, the average hiring manager is getting, was it 20 cold calls a day?
10
cold calls a day.
Yeah.
So was that just from recruiters?
10 cold calls a day from recruiters, it's estimated, yeah.
So you need to think about how many calls are they getting from other industries as well.
Yeah, trainers and software and so on, yeah.
And if you think about not even just this industry, like people, you, me, you watching the video, right? You think about what your average day, right? We are being bombarded by marketing messages from all angles. We get hundreds of emails, or I certainly do. You've got cold calls, as you mentioned. You've got TV advertising. It's everywhere. And what's happening now is that the brain is now switching off to
most of
it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when sort of advertising first came about, it was really effective because there wasn't much competition. So when emails first came, and remember, I don't know if you had remember AOL?
Yeah.
It was like, you got mail.
That's right.
And it happened like once an hour or once every 2 hours. So imagine you had that thing now when you got, every time you got an email, it would be constantly all day. So before, you used to get really excited about getting an email.
Yeah.
Because it was really new, but now you get so many, a lot of them get ignored, and it's the same for any sort of route to market we can talk about. So the email interrupts your day. You got the television commercial that interrupts your viewing. The radio commercial interrupts your listening. The print ad in the newspaper interrupts your reading. These are all forms of interruption marketing.
Yeah.
And what you're saying is that you want to make the switch from interruption marketing that mostly gets ignored to move to permission marketing. And the best way that you explained to me, Terry, was like, you know, when you're in the market to buy a particular car or buy a house, or you think about having a baby, you tend to notice more of those things. So you think about having a baby, or you tend to notice more pregnant women. You tend to see more advertisement aimed at what you're thinking of buying. So again, I've just had a son, so I'm sure these adverts are all there all the time. But I noticed more like baby clothes and different things that babies can use. And again, it's similar when I've thought about buying a particular car. All of a sudden, I see more of that car on the road to the point where I'm seeing the same colour, the exact same colour that I want. And it's just because your brain is now switched on to looking for a solution to that problem.
That's right.
So what you're saying is, we want to find potential clients who are looking for the services that we offer, so when we do market to them, they are ready to listen, they pay more attention, and making the sale becomes easier. Is that
Absolutely, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's the sort of the difference: interruption marketing to permission marketing. And again, it's something you want to make the transition to as quickly as possible. How do you do it? I mean, you touched on there about sending emails, but can you sort of break down what I know in video 2 you're going to show us how to do it, but what do you need to do? What do you need to have in place to do permission marketing?
First and foremost, you need to know exactly who your ideal client is, and often when we first start working with recruitment and search runners, they don't. So they embark on their marketing, but they're actually marketing to candidates rather than decision makers. So that's the first thing. And
you need to know your market.
You need to know your market,
yeah.
And then you need to send the right message to that market.
Yeah.
So, I mean, do you want to give an example of the sort of thing?
Well, we'll save that for the
Okay,
too.
okay,
You
yeah.
just give us sort of the breakdown. So
Yeah.
again, I know it is in your books, but for anyone that haven't read your
Yeah.
book, so you got market,
The right market. You're going to send the right message to that market using the right medium.
using the right media. So again, can you explain the sort of the link of those three?
Yeah, so let's use an example of my wife. My wife's vegetarian, so let's say you're a butcher and you're selling the best steaks in the world. You send in a letter to my wife about your finest steaks is a complete and utter waste of time.
because no matter what the price.
Whatever the price-
she could be buying it for you, but
Yeah.
she's never going to buy it for herself. But no matter
That's
what
right.
the price is, no matter how good it is, it's pointless.
Absolutely pointless. And because she's vegetarian and she's never had meat, she doesn't even buy it for me. So she'd come to me and say, "What sort of meat is this? Should I get this?" Because
Yeah.
So it's a complete waste of time. Now, some people would then say, "Oh, marketing doesn't work. I marketed my finest steak to this vegetarian, and I got nobody responding." Well, it's the wrong message to the wrong market. And if, in the case of my wife, you were to use, if you were to use Facebook to market to my wife, again, it's now the wrong medium. My wife's not on Facebook, so it's never.
So now you're the wrong message. You wouldn't have seen the message.
Never seen the first place, yeah. So that's how not to do it, by the way. So your clients, it's got to be you get crystal clear about who your ideal client is,
Yeah.
and you send them a message that resonates with them, that will solve their problem. And by the way, I'm not saying, "Hey, I'm a great recruiter. If you've got any business, can I have it?"
Yeah.
I would encourage you to be a lot more subtle than that, and there's some copywriting techniques that we'll perhaps be going to in the next one. And what you're saying is, if you have a problem in this area, just let me know, and I may have something that can help solve your problem.
Okay.
But you're not selling or offering your recruitment solution or search solution immediately. What you want to be doing is kind of starting the relationship and get them to say, "If you have an interest in this, let me know, and I will send you something in return." Does that answer the question, Drew?
Yeah, it did. So essentially, you need to have the right market, the right message, using the right medium.
Sorry, yeah.
And then you have effectively part of what forms the message is an irresistible offer, something that offers them a solution to the problem they are having.
That's right.
That doesn't sell to them, but gives them information.
That's you've hit the nail, yeah.
Okay, so again, I've read your books, and then I know you need. The next thing is you need a lead capture. So you need a way of capturing the information of people who request the irresistible.
Yeah, and that's a really good point, because at this point most recruiters say, "Oh, what I'll do is I'll send my brochure to the 2,000 people on my list."
Yeah.
No, because you don't know who's actually interested if you send it to everybody. But if you say, "I have a lead magnet, something that will solve your problem,"
Yeah.
if you're interested, let me know. Because by the way, you send it to 2,000, majority are not interested. Only a small percentage are interested, but they're the ones you want to be talking to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have a lead capture, so we know. Okay, these people. So again, it's like an example, like if you're a search firm and you had your irresistible offer was like a free report or a free video training series like this one, or a webinar that said 10 things to do before you hire a search firm. You know that anyone that is interested in that information is interested in hiring a search firm in the near future.
That's right. That's right.
So you get their so you use lead capture to get their information, and then it's very simple. After that, you follow up with them.
That's right. So, for giving an example, something I went through 2 years ago now, I was going to America, and I wanted to hire a car in America, and I went to 20 odd websites. But
Yeah.
one website said something like this: 7 things you should do before you hire a car in California, or what's that? I can't remember what exactly.
Yeah.
Now I'm a marketeer and I knew exactly what they were doing. But what do? I filled in the details on the website to get this, because I want to know what those things are.
Yeah.
But think about that. I went to 20 odd websites making inquiries. The other 19 websites have no idea that I've even visited their website. But this one company did. And they got my details, and I had to put in my name, and my telephone number. That's all they asked for, and they emailed me something over. Then they sent me a series of videos about the different cars, and the driving laws are slightly different in the States and so on. So they nurtured the relationship, and then a lady, the sexiest voice in the world, then called me, and she said, "Hi, my name's, I think it was Teresa, is that Terry?" And I was willing to listen to her because I knew exactly who she was, and she'd positioned herself as the expert in leasing cars in California. Cost to her or to the business, very little really.
Yeah, and it's not even about. It's the thing I get from this. It's about the time that you spend as well, because she could have spent her time cold calling people in the UK who could be interested in
Yeah.
in hiring a car.
Yeah.
Or she could do it using the permission marketing way and only ring people who she knows are definitely interested. And again, it applies directly to recruitment. Like, why would you? Again, I know I'm saying why would you? It's the dumb thing. Is the reason, but it's like the difference between having a list of 1,000 contacts and ringing all of them, having your contacts ring all of them. Majority of the time, getting the phone slammed down in your face, getting rejection, or actually you. Before you do that, you ask them who's interested. You get maybe 100 who say yes, I am interested.
Yeah.
And only spending your time ringing that 100 as well.
Yeah.
Again, you're going to get better results, better conversations, and yeah, ultimately you're going to make your life a lot easier, which will making a sale easier. And it's a completely different type of relationship when they've come to you rather than you going to them. So one of the sort of things I like about permission marketing is it positions you as the authority, because people have came to you rather than you sort of going out chasing them. And when people come to you and you're positioned in that way, it makes it easier to charge higher fees. It makes it easier to get the fees you want. It's harder for them to try and beat you down in price. It's almost impossible for your competitors to come in and sort of take business away from you, because they don't look desperate, because you're the one who's done all the positioning right, and anyone else that tries to come in, because they haven't done it properly,
that's right,
they look desperate, and they look like they're cold calling, whereas you're sort of the leader, the authority, the expert who the client wants to buy from.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Brilliant. So again, is there anything else you want to share on?
Not for the time being. No, that covers it, truly. Yeah, you put it well there.
Brilliant. So I know in the next video you're going to show us exactly how you do that.
Yeah.
The tools you need, how to do it as well. So make sure you tune in for that. If you've enjoyed this video, you have any questions for Terry in the next video, make sure you leave a comment below and let us know what you thought so far. And also, if you know anybody else, a recruitment search runner who you think could benefit from seeing this video series, make sure you share it with them as well. So either tag them below or just let them know about it some way. Spread the word. We want to get this out to as many people as possible, so we can really help recruitment search owners attract as many clients as they want.
Excellent.
Again, Terry, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much. Until next time, take care, take action, and be relentless.